What's up, guys? Welcome to another poker vlog. Today we are going to be playing another 1-2 or 1-3 session in Springfield, Missouri. We got the basketball stuff with us. Gonna go get a little workout in before we hop in this session. Feeling pretty good despite the fact that we've had several losing sessions in a row now. Hoping we can turn things around. It's been pretty rough lately. Thanks for still watching the videos, and have plenty of subscribers lately, so that's great. Feeling very good about the way the channel is going. Still trying to figure out what we're gonna do for a 1,000 subscriber giveaway now that we're almost to 1,200 now. So let me know down in the comments. Haven't gotten very many comments on what we should do as a giveaway. So anyway, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and hop into the action. The first hand we're going to go over in this session, I look down at King Jack of Hearts, so it's always good to start off with 40% of a royal flush. I'm starting this hand off with about 270, and I'm under the gun +1. Now this is fairly early in the session, but not the very beginning. If I remember correctly, I started off pretty card dead. So under the gun +1 opens to 10. I go ahead and make the call, which I think is slightly questionable, but it's from the button, so that's okay. And I don't want to be 3-betting such an early position opener. Under the gun also calls. He had limped, so seems like a fairly reasonable situation for us. Flop comes down, Queen 10-4 with 1 heart, so pretty good flop for us, all things considered. Open-ended draw to the nuts, backdoor flush draw, so pretty happy with that. Under the gun checks, under the gun +1, continuation bets for 20, so pretty small size. I make the call, and under the gun also calls. So we're not too sad to see this go multi-way. Obviously, we have a ton of equity in this spot, and we have draws to the nuts, so it's okay to have that extra player in there. The turn is a pretty freaking good card for us. Turn is the 8 of hearts, so now we have that flush draw for real. We have the nut straight draw still, and we have an overcard, so we're feeling pretty happy with the situation. Under the gun checks. Under the gun +1 bets 60 this time. I make the call, and the under the gun player folds. So I think this is a okay spot to call. I think I could also just like ramp up and put in a raise here. Not 100% sure, but with so much equity, I don't think it could be bad to take the lead. River comes down, the Queen of Spades. So we brick out everything. We are sitting here with King High. Not feeling that great about the situation until the under the gun player checks. So I don't know what he would be checking here. He obviously doesn't have like ace queen or something like that. He could have had spades perhaps and have flopped a flush draw and been betting that. He could have something like ace king of spades, or maybe some other ace king that just bet twice, and then now that he bricked out completely, he's checking. So I think we have a shot to take this one away. And it's time to load up a pretty sizable barrel since we've got a decent amount in the pot already. We fire out $120. We don't even have to sweat it, guys. We don't even have, he doesn't even think about it. He just snap mucks. So I guess he assumed we had a queen, or he assumed that we just had him crushed, or he just had nothing and completely whiffed. So we take down that first one with a little bit of well-timed aggression, and we're off to a good start. Next hand we're going to look at, I've got ace king of clubs from the big blind, starting this hand with about 450. Yeah, guys, we got another dreaded ace king hand, so let's see how bad I can mess this up. Under the gun opens to 10, small blind makes the call, action gets to me, and I go ahead and make it $45. I think this is a pretty okay sizing. Maybe I could have gone 50, but I don't think that makes a huge difference. Both players make the call, so all right, that seems all right. Flop comes down, 6 deuce 6 with 1 club. So obviously we whiff. We've got 2 massive overcards and a backdoor flush draw. I think this is a time we should probably slow down. Small blind checks. I bet 50, and I meant to bet 55, but I don't think that's super meaningful. Under the gun calls, and the small blind folds. So going heads up now, we need some help, clearly. Turn comes down another 6. So now we've got 3 6s on board. Obviously not feeling great unless we improve somehow. Under the gun checks, and I check back. I think this is a very smart check back. I'm proud of myself for not going crazy here. Obviously, it doesn't make any sense for me to go crazy. I don't have any 6s in my range, basically at all. I do have bigger pocket pairs in my range, so maybe I could have continued, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think that I should definitely be checking here. River comes down, the 4 of clubs. Got a 4 to a flush on the river. Great. Yeah, no help with our ace king once again. We struggle with this hand all the time, it seems like. ends up checking through on the river, which seems pretty okay. I don't think there's any way I could reasonably try to take this away because any pocket pairs that I had would have continued betting the 6 on the turn. So we go to showdown and he flips over pocket 8s. So I don't think there's really a whole lot we could have done here differently. You guys might have a different opinion, so let me know. But yeah, I think this is just one of those situations where you brick out with ace king and that's all she wrote. Pretty weird playing 3 of a kind on the board, but whatever. On to the next one. So in the next one, we look down at ace 8 offsuit from the button. We're starting this hand off with about 305. Middle position, hijack, and the cutoff, all limp. So I think this is a time where I can try and punish the limpers. I make it 12, probably should have made it 15 or 20. Small blind calls and the cutoff calls. So off to see a flop. Flop's a pretty reasonable one for us. Flop comes ace 10-2 with the 10 of spades. Checks to me. I go ahead and bet 20 and get 1 caller. Turn comes down the 5 of spades, so now we have 2 spades on the board. Small blind checks. I bet 35, and the small blind goes ahead and makes the call. River comes down the jack of diamonds. I bet 55. The small blind tanks for a while and makes it 210. I don't know. This is a weird sticky spot. This is a player that I know is capable of making moves. He likes to make moves. It seems like his aggression level is high. Now, that doesn't mean I can just be making any kind of call here. I do have an ace. He's played this pretty oddly, playing it very slow into the river. I don't know what he could have made here on the jack of diamonds on the river. That's obviously a very large size, so if he's trying to make it look like a bluff, he's doing a very good job because that seems like a bluffy size. It doesn't seem like the kind of size you can expect to get value out of very often. I end up, after a pretty decent tank, talking myself into a call. I slide the chips into the middle, and he flips over pocket 2s for a flopped set. Sucks pretty bad. I think that's kind of a questionable call. Against this player, I don't think it's terrible. It's definitely not never good, but I don't think it's good often enough that it's worth it, especially given the sizing that he used. So we try to pick off a bluff. We're very unsuccessful. We end up rebuying after this hand for 300, so time to hopefully turn things around. So a little while after that ace 8 debacle, I look down at pocket aces. We've got 320 in front of us. We are on the button, so pretty much the best situation we could possibly ask for. The under the gun player raises to 20, which is a pretty big opening size. Obviously, I'm going to 3-bet here, not really looking to mess around. Let's see how much money we can get in the middle. I go ahead and 3-bet to 65. He re-raises us, action folds to him, and he puts in the 4-bet to 150, I think. So really no options here. Time to just go ahead and get it in, which we do. He tanks for a little bit. I don't really know. I'm not really sure why he would be tanking. But anyway, he tanks it out for a little bit. Asks me if I have aces. I obviously do not tell him. I don't remember what I said. I don't think I really said too much. Before he puts him in, he has pocket kings. I got pocket aces. So we're in the perfect cooler situation. I don't know why I asked this. I guess I was just tilted or something. I have no idea. Or maybe I'm just a huge nit. But he said something about running it twice. Or maybe somebody else at the table said something about running it twice. And I said I would run it twice. So we're running it twice. First flop comes king high. So we are devastated. Turn is a brick. River comes down an ace. So that was a huge win. We are feeling great. Feeling like we got this locked up. The second board, there's a king on the flop again, guys. Cannot make this up. So no miracle ace, no case ace for us, even though he gets the case king. So we end up chopping this pot, which should have been a huge $600+ pot that we should have just taken down. But we end up chopping it, and RIP. So aces versus kings, and we managed to run it twice and only win half. What are we doing? What are you guys, I want to know everybody's thoughts, actually. There's a lot of different schools of thought. Mathematically, it doesn't really make a difference to run it twice or not. Like, it just doesn't. So I want to like what is your style? What do you guys how do you guys feel about running it once or twice? Like what do you do? I would rather run it 3 times so that way somebody wins and somebody loses, but that seems like insanity to me. Nobody's going to want to sit there through that 3 boards all the time. Anyway, on to the next one. So after that incredibly unfortunate 2-board run out, 2-board run out, yeah, where our opponent somehow finds a king on both boards and we only win half the pot with pocket aces versus pocket kings. We look down at pocket sixes in the small blind, starting this handoff with about 300. Cutoff makes it 20, and I'm the only caller. So the cutoff is a player with a much tighter image, but also seems like if I can flop a set here, I fully expect them to have an overpair and for me to get paid off. So we start this handoff perfectly by flopping a set right out of the gate. Cutoff makes it 35. And I decide to slow play this and just make the call. I think that's pretty standard on this board. It's kind of wet, but given the cutoff's very tight, I think, opening range, especially to 20, which would be a bigger size for somebody in this game to open to, I think slow playing this against probably an overpair is good. Turn comes down the 9 of diamonds, so we're pretty happy it's not a heart. That's great. Cutoff bets 75. I think I get a little antsy here and shove all in for 250. Obviously, the stack depths are a little bit weird for me here. The stack to pot ratio is a little bit weird for me. I'm pretty sure the cutoff had around 700, maybe 600, something like that. So comfortably had me covered. I go ahead. They tank for quite a while. I don't remember there being significant table talk. This player seemed a little bit nervous about the situation, but makes the call and shows us pocket jacks. We oblige and flip over our hand as well. The river comes down a 9, so we are in perfect shape. Take this one down. Nice to get a little bit of a bounce back from that disaster call and then from the disaster hand with aces versus kings. So pretty nice. Figure this one out. Flop a set. Play it a little bit slow and then get paid off. So definitely take that. On to the next one. So a little while later, we look down at Jack 10 of hearts under the gun, starting this hand off with 650. It's a tale as old as time for me. I don't know what to do about it. Obviously, like these are hands from a little bit ago. So this is from a session a little while ago. So hopefully I have made the adjustment and will quit doing this in the future. Maybe going to go play like tomorrow. So trying to get rid of this terrible tendency. I limp under the gun. Pretty awful. Under the gun +1 makes it 10, which my plan when I limp a hand like this is to limp call. So that works out. Makes it 10. There are 4 total callers. So we are off to see a flop. Very, very multi-handed. Flop comes down, Jack 10-7 with 2 clubs. So we flop top 2 pair, Yahtzee. I bet 15. So seems like a kind of questionable donk lead, but I guess I don't hate it. Under the gun +1 makes it 40. So I think maybe I should just go ahead and raise here. I'm not 100% sure, but I just make the call and everyone else folds. So we're going heads up to the turn. I don't know if I like that call. I think I should probably just go ahead and raise. I don't know what I'm like waiting for on this wet of a board. This is against the player that flopped a set against me earlier, so I think I'm a little bit trying to trap, which I think is dumb, but I think the smart part of my brain is trying to allow him to bluff, which this is a player that had shown bluffs in this game, and I've seen him pull plenty of bluffs, so I don't really know. I hope this is player dependent. I hope this isn't something that I would normally do. Anyway, the turn comes down the 3 of hearts, so a blank, doesn't complete the flush, doesn't complete any of the many straight draws out there. I check. My opponent bets 70, and I make the call again. I'm not sure why I'm playing this so slowly. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to let him hang himself. I'm not really sure. The river comes down, another blank. I check, and my opponent bets out 175 now. So, seems like a pretty big bet to me. Feeling like I'm getting kind of borderline owned here. I'm not really sure what I should do. I'm sure you guys know what's going to happen here. I make the call, and he shows us 9-8 offsuit. So our stack just got dealt into his, basically. I could have played it more aggressively, but it wouldn't have had a different outcome. Just getting
flopping top 2 pair against the nut straight does not feel good. Just getting my money just dealt into my opponent's stack. I don't know what to do. I don't think there's anything I could have done that would have made this hand have a different outcome, but I'm not happy with how I played it at all. So feel free to let me have it in the comments. That one, not great, and just bad. So, on to our last hand of the session. I look down at that good old ace-king once again. I've got ace-king of diamonds from the button, so we're getting premium hands in the button, guys. Like, what more could we possibly ask for? Starting this hand out with about 400 after that nightmare flopping top 2 against the nut straight. Middle position player opens to 15. One player calls. I 3-bet to 60 this time, which seems a little bit on the large side, but we'll take it, I think. I think that's pretty okay. Only the initial raiser makes the call. Flop comes down 10-10-8 with 2 hearts. So, okay, not the best flop for us. Clearly, we're not very good at flopping pairs when we have ace-king. Action checks through. I don't think this is a flop that I should be betting very often when I have completely whiffed. If I had 1 heart at least, I could do something here, but I think this flop is a check. Turn comes down 9 of spades. And the action checks through again, which I think is pretty weird. I'm not really sure what I should be putting him on at this point. Maybe small pocket pairs where he was trying to flop a set, and since he didn't, he's like not doing too much. He could also have ace king. He could also have ace queen, maybe. I think ace queen would fold to my 3-bet some amount of time, but not all the time. Anyway, the river comes down, the king of hearts, so it completes the front door flush draw and gives us top 2 pair. He checks. I go ahead and bet 15 into this pot, going for some very small value. I expect him to be like folding all the time. So that is not what he does, guys. He rips in $200, just takes 2 full stacks of red chips and slides them into the middle. After tanking for a while, like, I don't know what this was. He was talking, he was tanking, like, he says, I don't think you can have me beat, or I don't think you have anything, or something like that, and slides 2 stacks of 200 in there. Now, what did he say? I can't remember what he said. It was something that just like screamed strength at me. Like, it was so far in the opposite direction of what you would think would be strength. He just slides them in there. I think about it for a little bit, and I'm just like, I guess he has a flush? Or he had a 10 this whole time and just checked it down. I don't know if I'm just seeing like ghosts in the closet at some point, but like that is a huge bet. And I fold, and he shows us the bluff. He shows us ace 6 of clubs. So we just get completely owned. I guess we've just been getting owned in this whole session. We got owned by the slow played pocket 2s. We got pretty owned by the top 2 pair against the nut straight. We kind of own ourselves with the freaking pocket aces against pocket kings, where we allow it to be run twice and we only win half the pot. So we're down to about 300 in front of us. We're done with this session. I feel like I played terrible. We're in for 6, out for 3, so that's a loss of 300. At least I had the discipline to leave with some money. I don't know. Feel like I played fairly mediocre and ran really bad. I don't know, guys. Kind of frustrating. Well, guys, unfortunately, that is all for this episode. In for 600, out for 300, so we're looking at a minus 300 day. The losing streak continues. I feel like we were definitely on the wrong side of variance in this one. Could have played better for sure. Need to work on my opening ranges, and completely eliminating my under the gun limping range I think would be a good thing. But anyway, on to the next one, I suppose. Have a new episode coming at you no later than this coming Tuesday. We're doing every Tuesday uploads. Seems to be working out pretty well for us. We're up over 1,200 subscribers, so that's really exciting. Thanks for all the support. Don't forget to check below and see if you're subscribed. It's the best way to support the channel, and I really appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hopefully we can break the losing streak soon. Like I said, we'll have a new video coming up in the not too distant future. So have a good one. See you guys next time.